My name is Ole Dammegård, and what I do is I track down assassins, serial killers, and I expose false flag terror or state-sponsored terrorism. And that normally gets me a very strange look in people's face. They like, whoa, what did you say? But that is the truth. That is what I do. And my intention is to create a beautiful, beautiful future for all of us. Because we are in a situation in the world that is troublesome. Mother Earth is in big problems, and we as a human race as well is being attacked from so many different areas that we are actually at war. And I would say most people are not aware of it. They just feel that the world is mad. It's full of crazy terrorists, screaming Allah Akbar, wanting to blow us to pieces, and where all of these earthquakes and accidents and all it's just totally crazy. But it's not.
Yeah.
I would say that the world is an absolute, astounding place to be. Life is magical, and at the same time there is like a small little cancer growth that is trying to kill the body. And if we don't expose this cancer growth, it will kill us. It will kill life as we know it,
Definitely,
including
yes.
itself.
Yes.
So this is why I felt that this is not a choice. This is a time where we need to do it. If we want to be able to look ourselves in the mirror with respect and honor, we have to do something. And this is why I'm in this very strange situation.
It's not a job.
It's not a job.
No.
It is I have a passion for the truth. I am in love with truth. It is, the love is so simple, so pure. It fears no investigation. It just stands on its own. But what we are faced with so often in modern times are so-called conspiracies.
Yes.
And this is not for conspiracies like tinfoil hat type of conspiracies all over the place. I'm talking about conspiracy facts. And a conspiracy is when two or more people are involved in some kind of criminal activity. The beauty of it all is that a conspiracy always involves lies, especially if you want to make out that it's something else.
Mm-hmm.
So nowadays you have the official story of so many events, and you have the truth. And the two cannot meet.
No.
The truth is just so fantastic in its way of just being that the lies will not match up. And the more lies that are involved, the more entangled it is with lies, the more smelly and horrible it becomes, and the more fearful the people involved in it becomes. So they will start popping each other off and killing each other and fearing and threatening and all of these things. Whereas the truth is just like this. So I use the lies to lead me to the truth, because there's always a truth behind it. For me, the waking point was, it was a late night in 1984 when I was visiting a friend, and one night I saw the documentary about a documentary about the JFK assassination, and it was the first time ever I saw the so-called Zapruder film, where it is so obvious when you see the final headshot that the bullet comes from the right and the front, throwing the head backwards and to the left.
Yes.
Not what the official story says, that he was, the lone shooter was behind and to the right, off 6 floors in the building, hitting, because then the head would go like this.
Mm-hmm.
So what I always use is what I call Farmer Brown logic. 1 + 1 = 2. It does not matter if you got some kind of professor or 3D animation showing you that 1 + 1 = 34. It is not true. And the stronger they try to force this version that 1 + 1 is 34, or whatever other lie they're trying to push on you, that just shows you the eagerness for you to believe the official story and not look into the truth. And that just gets me going, because that sparks my interest, you know, when I start smelling lies and patsies, and then I get going.
But you worked as a journalist
I used to work as a journalist.
in that time.
Yeah, that's true. At that very time I was journalist. How
did you manage? Because it's
No, but-
conspiracy.
No, but I had no idea at that time that this would lead me down this track. Had I known what I know now, maybe I would never have started.
No.
But this is how life is gentle to you often. It gets you in on track without you knowing that, oh my God.
Sure.
Because never ever had I expected that this would lead me down the line 30 years. Never ever would I expect it to become a beautiful personal friend of Lee Harvey Oswald's girlfriend. You know, never ever would I expect to be in contact with people from the CIA or assassins or Pentagon. It's like I live in a very strange situation now, very odd. I can't believe myself sometimes when I talk about it, you know, because it's just, it feels like I'm in some kind of B movie or something.
Yes, Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, but this
Yes.
is what it is.
Yes.
And this is what I think is really amazing, because I am now personal friends with so-called monsters. And what I see in them as well is that these are people, most of them, that have been used to believe in what they were doing. They thought that they were doing the right thing. Doing atrocities, horrible, horrible acts, but who have now come to a point where they're doing everything to redeem themselves and to help humanity instead. So to be in direct touch with former assassins and so on, and not judge them, and at the same, it's a very bizarre situation, but very interesting.
It's a film script.
It is.
Almost.
It is. I'm a personal friend of Chip Tatum, who was he's a former CIA operative for 25 years, a deep cover agent, a black op assassin. He was one of Night Stalker pilot, these black helicopters. He was one of the pilots in the Iran-Contra scandal, flying weapons out, drugs into the States, being personally received by George Bush Sr. and Bill Clinton, among others.
Oh.
And he was also the commander of an ultra-secret hit team called Pegasus, under the direct control of George Bush Sr., where they carried out at least 14 assassinations in Western Europe.
My good Lord.
This is not a beginner, you know, an amateur. And now I'm on my website is on his server, because it was attacked many times.
Oh, really?
And I have very interesting conversations with him. Most of them are online, because he comes from the inside.
Yes, sure.
From the belly of the beast, and have seen it and has worked in there, and is now giving us this information to expose what is going on. I really honor his courage.
Yeah, really.
At the same time, they say, once CIA, always CIA. Who am I to know? I don't know. But I've seen very honorable features in him. I think that is also why he is the only whistleblower on that level that I know that have been that high up. He's worked for all the presidents from Nixon and onwards on a personal, direct level, speaking level. And he's the only one. So.
Yes, but he's a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Kind of whistleblower.
No, totally whistleblower. It came to a point in 1992 where Bush Sr. wanted him to eliminate Ross Perot. Ross Perot.
Ross Perot.
Do you remember Ross Perot was a billionaire who was trying to run for president? Mm-hmm. And Bush Sr. wanted him out of the way and ordered Chip to take him out.
Whoa.
And Chip, by that, he just said, that I have never ever accepted killing people on American soil, and I refuse to do it. So Bush Sr. and the people involved around him wanted to kill Tatum then, Chip.
Whoa.
But by then he had collected so much what he called insurance over the years, meaning evidence against these people, that he is still alive. So at this point he's down in Ecuador, flying in and trying to help people after the big earthquake down there. So he's doing everything he can.
And you lost friends before?
Yeah, I've lost 2 friends.
It's Olof Palme.
I spent some 12 years in Sweden digging very deep into the assassination of Olof Palme, which is an incredible assassination. It is the biggest murder investigation in the history of the world. They've spent 1.5 billion Swedish krona in this investigation, which is a total fake investigation. It is a multi-layered murder that is unbelievable. If you want to, one day we can do a special interview on that. But I did a 9-hour interview on what is called Red Eyes Creations.
9 hours.
Just to go through the different layers, because there's several different operations going on at the same time. It's an incredible story, absolutely incredible.
You wrote a book?
I wrote a book.
1100 pages, so...
Yeah, it's called Coup d'etat in slow motion.
Yeah.
Coup d'etat in slow motion.
Yeah.
And it's not because I like writing, because I don't.
No.
But it's because this is so complex.
Yes.
It is incredible, and it's so integrated with so many other things that happen on a global scale, including the Iran-Contras, pedophile trafficking, arms trafficking, drugs. His
Horrible.
assassination is just one in a long, long line of killings. So, incredible story. And due to that, I lost 2 friends in Sweden who was... we were a small little group. We were called the private investigators by the press. They were totally making us look like idiots and trying to ridicule us. But this group consisted of just ordinary citizens, you know, mostly elder gentlemen, from former police officers, lawyers, from custom officers and so on. Just really deeply concerned about what had happened in Sweden. Because, like, my book is called Coup d'etat in slow motion. It was a coup d'etat, but in slow motion, so that slowly, that people did not notice what really happened. And if you compare Sweden today with what it was before the assassination in 1986, it's like the world before and after 9/11. It's a dramatic change, dramatic.
Why is he assassinated?
And that is a 9-hour question.
Wow. Okay. Do you have time then?
This is the thing that I normally don't talk about this if I don't have a lot of time on my, because it's super complex.
Okay.
Because there were several different operations going on at the same time, wanted to kill him, and he was one part of one of it, arranging his own assassination. This is, I tell you, it is mind-blowing once you get into it. So that's why I duck and dive, and until I get the right amount of time, then I can go into it. I would like to say about Chip Tatum.
Yes.
I asked him how he feels about what he's done, because he's done horrible things.
I guess so.
He's tortured people, he's killed people, but he was a soldier, and this is what soldiers do in war. They get medals for killing other people, and you honor them. Salute you because you're a sniper killing 1,500 people, or drone operator. That is what soldiers do. So in wartime you're a hero, in peacetime you're a monster. You know, same action, different times. Very odd to get in there. And I asked him about that, and he said he regrets very few things. He knows he has a price to pay, and he's willing to pay it. He knows that one day his time is out, and I thought that was an honorable way of saying it. I also asked him about, since he has been involved with killers, assassins, mercenaries, his whole life, or adult life, because he was lured into this whole thing. I asked him, when you look into the eyes of these people, when you are among them, who are they? I've always been very intrigued about what type of person can do such outrageous things to other human beings and animals and so on. And he said that the way he sees it, there are 3 different types. When it comes to assassins, he says there's the naive one, that they believe that they do it for freedom and democracy and all of that thing. He said that wears off within a few months. This is mostly young people that think that they're doing the right thing. Within a few months they know this is cold, ice cold business. They're there as tools and enforcers of death and destruction, and that wears off very quickly. Type 1. Type 2, there's the second type, which is often a mercenary or contractor, soldier, good at what he's doing, knows that it's wrong, but does it for the money.
Whoa.
Then he says there's the third part, and he said this is the scary group. He calls them dead eyes. These people are so messed up, they're so damaged, that they have no empathy. They are ice cold, ruthless.
Wow.
And he says these people can do anything with no emotion, nothing. He said that is the scary part. And he says that sometimes he has nightmares because of what he's gone through and so on. And he says one of his worst nightmares is that he's lying on his back in his bed. He's asleep but awake, in that stage and he cannot move. And one of these dead eyes is floating right on top of him like this, breathing on him I thought, when he said that, oh my God, that's the most scary thing I've ever heard.
Yes.
So.
Are they mind controlled? At the moment, in that moment?
Well, I don't know. I know that Chip has flown a lot of people in and out to especially a prison in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, with these black helicopters, where they're taking prisoners or people from the army bases into what he called the famous doctors. This was mind control.
Famous doctors.
Yeah, so, and they were doing stuff with them, and then they flew them back, and then they were used in operations. And when many of these, when you see, since I've focused so much on top assassination like JFK, Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, there's so many, Malcolm X, so many of them. One of the things is that in the template that they're using, because they use like templates, old Roman templates, how to commit an assassination on a top level and get away with it, how to dupe the population into believing that it was the work of a lone crazy guy. Mm. The lone patsy is an essential ingredient in these assassinations. And the reason why they want him alone is because then by law there's no conspiracy. And the reason they want him crazy is because then there's no motive. He was crazy, he went up, shot him, case closed, thank you and goodbye. And if you then can get him killed, then there's no court case, no nothing like that. And if he's alone as well, you never need to hear anything, there's no motives, there's nothing behind it. So a lone crazy guy. If you hear about a lone nut, that is like a red light, bap, 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 bap.
Yeah.
And you will hear that again and again and again.
Yes.
And these lone crazy guys are not the killers. Very rarely are they the ones committing it. The people that carry out the assassination are skilled killers. It is often with triangular fire, 2 or 3, because they need option A, B, C. If something fails in option A, boom, they need a backup. So around these assassinations, you will find multiple shooters, multiple getaway cars, multiple options, and they're often not even aware of each other, because these operations are totally compartmentalized. So even in assassinations here in Holland and other countries, you will find the exact same pattern. And also, please be aware that very often the team of assassins are flown in from abroad. These people are very often from different countries, different backgrounds, with no connections, no obvious connections, very often picked out from the Gladio network to be used there. They do not know who the victim is. They just know the target, with fur hat or whatever. That's the only thing. Man in blue shirt, They do not know why, or that's not their job. Their job is kill the target, eliminate the target. It would be, nowadays there's so much surveillance via satellite and internet, but in the old days, just not that many years ago, you would have some kind of surveillance around the target for a few weeks before, so there would be observations of strange cars, walkie-talkie, these type of things. Not so much nowadays. Then one thing that is extremely important is the investigation that follows part of the crime. It is part of the crime, and it's only there to stop anyone from finding out the real truth. So you will have, boom, the shots are fired. There will be fake evidence pointing towards the patsy. The patsy will be killed often at the very spot, or committing suicide. That's one of the favorite. Boom, he's dead. End of story. Thank you, folks. Thank you and goodbye. And then right away when this happened, there will be a technical forensic team that goes in to find evidence. No, they will plant evidence. They're clearing the crime site. They clear the crime site of real evidence, and they plant fake evidence pointing towards the patsy. Okay. Then that is followed by the investigation. Their people. And this is in the Freemasonry network that you will find the key people in this. Very often the lawyer, the attorney, and the judge, Freemasons, all of them.
Yeah.
And also, so the key people in this investigation are pushing away normal, honest, decent detectives and homicide police officers and so on, will be pushed aside. Yeah. And in goes their own people that they can control. Yeah. You got people in media, handpicked people often in the Freemasonry network that will pump out fake the story, the official story. It's a patsy, it's a patsy, it's a patsy. Everyone else will just follow. Whoa, where did he get that inside story? And they will quote and quote and quote the same. And the big ones, if CNN says something or Fox or something like that, the whole thing follows. Reuters, TT, everybody follows. But where did the information come from to them? These are the things that it's leaked down in this key of information, or this chain of information thing. And then the investigation, well, it would be the patsy, the patsy, the patsy. Then normal people will say, this doesn't make sense at all. I mean, how can you say that? I mean, the guns doesn't even fit. It's not the same caliber. He was there and then he's dead over there. And when you start looking into it, someone like me who would just go in and just look for inconsequent, when it doesn't match up and so on, it would be very obvious, quite clear in an early stage, whoops, something is totally wrong here. If we keep pushing for the truth, in the end they will say, oh my God, we will put a commission here to really find the truth, and they would call it something really fancy, like whatever the name of the murder is, the Olof Palme Truth Investigation, or the Search for Stardust Liberty Commission to look into the crime. That's not what the commission does. It goes in and it checks out what the investigation did, but the commission is part of the crime, just as the investigation. And you will see the people in the commission are Freemasons, more or less always. And what they do, you will find, if you check out in history, they will have been part of other commissions in other areas. They just do like this, change positions, so that, oh, it's democracy. Thank God we have a democracy here. And then that commission would spend about a year. There would be loads of so boring stories in the newspapers about what they're doing or not. And then after a year, they would come forward with a report. It would be this thick and would say nothing. It would be a lot of pages saying nothing. But by then, people are so tired of it. Then that commission, if people do not give up, some people like myself, and say, it's not true, not true, not true, then they will appoint another commission. And the second commission will look into the first commissions that looked into the investigation, and no one is looking into the crime. After the Palme assassination, we had 4 commissions. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is costing the taxpayers millions, and they're sitting, smoking cigars, throwing darts, doing absolute zero.
No.
Zero.
Their plan was already there.
It's part of the plan. The idea is, let it go. Forget about it. Just let it slide out into oblivions.
Is any one of the patsies involved in one way or another?
Depends on what cases you're looking at. Most of the time, the patsy's only there to take the blame, to take the fault for it. Because, like I said before, the killers, they need to be efficient killers. They need to be very skilled at what they're doing, very cold and calculating to be able to take out the target. The patsy is only there to take the blame. And so most of the time they have nothing to do with the operation. They know nothing about it.
They know nothing about it.
No, God, no. It's very important to keep the patsy out of that whole thing. They're only there. They have often been handpicked because they're weak mentally, or they look good and they look, they look weird, or they look crazy, and if not, they will make them look like that. They will, Adam Lanza and Sandy Hook, and so where they manipulated the images totally to make him look absolutely stupid. The strange haircuts, everything to mess it up so that we will, oh my God, he's crazy. Like that. That is the thing they want. So the patsy, there is one patsy that was actually involved in the killing. That was Sirhan Sirhan with Robert Kennedy. And he was under mind control, where you will see that the days coming up to the assassination at the Ambassador Hotel, he was involved with a man and a woman. Woman called, she's in a polka dot dress, she's known as that. And together with a man as well. He's living now in Israel. And during that time, they're preparing him. They're really taking him around to paint him black as a patsy. So that after they're taking him to shooting ranges, so people see it, they're making him, so people are observing him like, what a weirdo, what strange, and so on, to mark him as the patsy. Then some of these patsies are, they have gone through horrific things with mind control, MK-Ultra type of things, where they split the personality through torture and horrific things, and where different personalities can be triggered with keywords. And one of the things that you see afterwards is that the patsy have no idea. They cannot remember anything. It's gone.
Yeah.
And Sirhan, I think he took a cup of coffee. That's the last thing he remembers, and he's gone.
Psychotic.
Yeah. And then he sort of, the next thing he remembers is being taken after the assassination. But what he does is that they had him in the kitchen of the Ambassador Hotel waiting, and then they led Robert Kennedy off the stage and took it totally against the normal security road, took him in through a very crowded kitchen, and that is where the shooting started. The shooting started by Sirhan, who just put up the gun and started firing at Robert Kennedy. But the thing was, he had a revolver with 8 bullets, okay? He started shooting. As soon as he started shooting, people jumped him and wrestled him down on a steam table, took away the gun, okay? There were 8 bullets in the gun. There were about 13 shots fired. So
very strange.
Also, all shots fired from Sirhan came straight forward, and at no point were he any closer than 1 meter, 1 meter 30. Okay, so of course Robert Kennedy was hit from the front. Answer is no. He was hit 3 times, and here, here, and here. All 3 from the back and to the right. So once again, you do not have to be super clever to understand he was not the only shooter.
No.
The real shooter must have been standing behind him and to the right. This, my daughter of 11 years old would tell me, but Dad, there must have been more than one. But we're being called conspiracy theorists or tinfoil hats for just pointing out listen, this doesn't match up at all. And this is the same with more or less all of these ones, the big political assassinations, the big terror things like 9/11, Boston bombing, Sandy Hook. When you look at the evidence with an open mind, the only thing I'm out, I just want the truth. Wherever it leads me, that's the thing.
Of course.
But it does not match up. It does not match up.
But are people hypnotized because who are looking or watching television or whatever? Because how can people believe this?
It's a very good question. I don't understand it.
No.
But they say that the human mind, if you are not open to take in the answer, to see the magnitude of the power behind it, your eyes will see it, but your brain will not register it.
Yeah.
And it's the same with chemtrails, and so you're standing looking at them, and some people just don't see them.
No.
And it's
nothing happens over there.
it is. I don't get it. I mean,
No.
I have friends who are commercial pilots. Some people see them very clearly, knows what they are, sees it at, oh my, this is a massive problem. Where other pilots with tens of thousands of flying hours, no, it's natural.
Those are contrails?
They are being educated, the pilots and so on, people in the weather industry and so on, that these are natural things. But I can just say they're not. You know, you take samples, you see the whole sky turn into a white maze of horrific stuff.
I can smell it.
Yeah, but the thing is, just like I think it was Hitler said, it was Goebbels, who said, the bigger the lie, the easier it is to get people to believe it. Because it's just so big that it's like, and for most people to start seeing that, are you telling me that the government or people in power are trying to hurt us? They're there to protect us. We're paying them to protect us. Are you saying that they are the ones doing this? It's not Muslim terrorists. It's not this. It's not. You're saying that. I'm saying, what can I say? You look at the evidence. We're looking at inside jobs, more or less.
I've heard the question, yes, a lot of times.
But it is painful to wake up. It is a very, very sad experience to wake up to the fact of what is going on. And I think when I see people, myself included, the way we react to this is most people, first total denial. No, can't be possible. Then once the door is open, they're like, oh my God, this is incredible, how couldn't I see it? And then they go into anger, or depression, or sadness, and frustration, they don't know what to do with, and they become very intense. And they start looking everywhere, and they will start to see the magnitude of how big this is. And that will get them into like a downward spiral, where I think most of us have experienced that. Once, if we're in that mind state and we talk about these things, it's just so dark, and people around them go like, "Whoa, take that person away from me! He's crazy. Take him. It's just too much. I can't handle it." You will see people avoid you in the street and all this. But it's a matter of the energy that you send out. This is why I feel it's so important to get the power back, be in balance, be in harmony. Be in love, compassion, forgiveness, but fearless exposure of these things. Because once you can be in balance and stand in balance and show that you can handle this type of information, that is when you become an inspiration.
Yes.
And I've been called a supreme leader. I would say I can't, in a group of 4, I can't even make them decide what kind of pizza they will have. You know, I am not a leader, but I know what they're talking about, because what people are craving for is peace. They are craving for peace, and if they find a peaceful individual, they follow that feeling. There's a fantastic man, an English guy, I don't know his name, I think his website is Trust Techniques or something like that. And what he does is he's an animal healer he sits down. There's this fantastic video where he's sitting in a field, and there's about 15 horses. All of these horses have been abused and gone through horror, and all of the horses are standing around, and he's just sitting there. He's doing nothing. And then one of the horses just lie down totally relaxed like this next to him. And then the next one, boom. Yeah. And in the end, all 10, 15 horses are just like this. And afterwards, when he runs, they follow him. When he walks, all the horses are following him. He's not doing anything. He's not doing, because they follow the peace. They feel his peace. And they don't have to be anxious. They don't, because they feel what we think, and so they feel our feelings and so on. And if you feel that calmness around that, they're like, oh, lead me. So what I'm saying is, it's peace that leads. Gandhi was the same. It was his peacefulness that got a crazy country. You go to India, see the chaos, and you had a guy that walked around in what looked like a diaper with a stick. No title, no money, no nothing. And he united the country. What was the magic? Peace.
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 Yeah.
So if you want to inspire, don't spread this horrific information if you can't handle it yourself. Learn, yes, but be aware of where you're going with it, because it can bring you down in a very deep depression.
Yeah.
And you will get very alone, you will get into constant conflicts, you will lose your spouse, your friends, everyone, because it's the energy. You're spreading black. Don't go there. Keep it to yourself, or deal with it in a way. If you're frustrated, run, box, jump, airplane. I don't know how you deal with it. Meditate, purify yourself. Don't spread it. Once you start to become in balance, once you start to see that we're in it for the long run, we are in this situation and we need to deal with it. But how to deal with it? We need to deal with it in a non-violent, peaceful way. If we go violent, they want us to go violent. The people behind these things, these dark operations, they want riots. They want us to revolt. They want us to get into, because that's their language. When we're down, aggressive, violent, that is where they can control us. If they cannot control us, that is when we're high in spiritual energy. And I tell you, I've seen magic happen, and I've been part of what I call magic. It's like, if I'm confronted by nowadays, my so-called enemies are people in uniform, the people that are there to protect us, I should say, oh, come and help me. No, in my world, when I stand for truth, these are the people that I'm officially there to fear.
Yes.
But, which is very sad. But when I get approached by someone, it hasn't happened that often, thank God, but maybe big weapon, black uniform, screaming face, and so on. What I do is, I look at them, I turn down the volume, I don't listen. If I listen to their words, my mind gets distracted. And I go into fear mode. Mm-hmm. I look into their eyes and I look for the spark, the human spark. Because these people, when they're so pumped up with adrenaline, their eyes are very black, you can't reach them with words. They're just looking for an excuse to bash your head in. Mm-hmm. So I just say nothing, I do not move, I stand in total peace. When I'm saying this is not easy, but I managed so far. Maybe next time I gotta get a cracked skull, but whatever. But when I do it, turn down the volume, look in their eye, and just say, the word that I use is divine, divine, divine. Keep repeating that. That keeps your mind focused, not get into fear mode, and not to see the person as a monster. Because this is a person who's doing the right thing in his world, Divine, divine, and I keep repeating, divine, he's somebody's son, he's somebody's father, he's somebody's brother, she's somebody's mother, daughter. She does not know what she's doing. Please forgive her. He has no idea what they're doing, divine, divine. And when you do that, it is amazing, I tell you, because Oh, I get goosebumps when I talk about it, because what happened, and I get tears in my eyes, because what happens is that there's a spark, there is something that is in a situation like that. If you go into fear mode, you can get hurt, you can, but if you stay in love and focused in love, magic happens, and suddenly, boom, I'll tell you, you can see the spark. There, the human spark. Once that's done, it's like pulling out to diffuse a bomb, and the tension is gone. He's still there in a uniform. He might still be screaming, but there's no power to the words. The hate has gone.
He's naked, as he's almost naked.
He is naked. Yeah. And very often, what is so weird is I'm standing, hands down, like, hit me in the head, whatever you want. I will take it, no fear. I don't want to be hurt, that's for sure. I don't like pain, but I'm not going to defend myself. I'm just standing there, and I'm the one that should be afraid, but it turns around. Yeah. It's the other person. You see the fear. Yeah. Why is he not afraid of me? Yeah. Why is he not bending down? Can't he see I'm like whatever. Can't he see my big gun? Can't he? No. He just sees me, and I see past all of this crap that you're equipped with. I see you as not a very big person, hiding behind a lot of muscles and a big gun. I mean, put it down, let's talk like equals. And when they see that they've been seen without judgment, boom, it diffuses. And then, I tell you, 5-10 minutes down the line, he's like, do you want a beer? My wife doesn't understand me. Do you want to have a talk? We can sit down, put away the gun, and suddenly, from us being enemies,
I know. Yeah.
It's fantastic. I love it. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's your passion.
No, but to diffuse, and also these things are powerful for that person in uniform as well, because I believe that after that, this magic that was bigger than both of us affected that they cannot continue living like that. It won't work anymore. No. What used to work for them, the kick they got from bashing somebody doesn't
it's
suddenly...
Gone.
It's gone. And suddenly the next time it's like... Because they felt love.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about my ego love, I love you. It's not that.
Love.
It's the
divine
power.
Love.
It's just divine, and I just feel so blessed to be in these situations. Sometimes shit's scary, I tell you.
Yeah,
I am not comfortable sometimes but what comes out, if I can manage to keep in that focus, yeah. And I owe so much to my yoga teacher, Nelani Chelram. It's Yoga for the Mind. She's a fantastic woman. And she has helped to show me the way in these difficult situations, because I used to be very fearful as well. And because this is scary business.
I know.
Lots of people around these have been killed. I put my family in horrific situations.
Yeah. You had to move.
I chose to move.
Yeah.
But they have been living through this as well. Many times when it knocks on the door at home. Because I'm a major boil in the pot. I hope if I'm doing what I intend to do, I'm messing it up big time for them, which is my absolute pleasure.
But you sure have guardian angels.
I do as well.
And you know them.
No, I do not. But what
you do.
But what I know with angels is that, as far as I understand this matrix, whatever we're living in, if I've learned it correctly, the angels are not allowed to interfere if we don't ask for their help.
For sure.
So if you think that, I shouldn't, it's new agey to please help me, I tell you, before any interview, before anything I do, I ask, please let my ego out of the way, get it out of the way.
Get it out.
Use me as a tool of peace to say whatever is needed in a way that will lift the world, that will aim at compassion, forgiveness, and to say what is needed.
Yeah.
And also help. I ask angels, I asked my ancestors, my mother, father who are dead, please support me in this, because I have no idea. I'm just one farmer boy on his own on a very scary, dark, lonely trail that has turned into something beautiful. Nowadays, when I spend so much time exposing false flag operations, false flag is where they, the people in power, create an outer enemy, like to get the reaction from us, where we go into total terror and fear, so that we will accept their solution. And they have the people behind these operations have used a lot of people in the Stay Behind Gladio network for these operations. And these operations are carried out on such a regular scale, so many times, that nowadays I've been approached by people in Stay Behind saying, oh my God, we're listening to your talks and we're watching your YouTube videos. We had no idea that we were being used like this. I'm also, people from the Hells Angels have contacted me saying, my God, let me buy you dinner when you come next time. You're really showing what's going on. We're being blamed for all of these things. I've been contacted by foreigners, immigrants, saying, we're being pointed out. We did not do it. It was not us. But this is exactly how they did it, what you're talking about. And the only thing I'm talking about is the template, how they carry it out. So many are being blamed for things that they're totally innocent for. And many, many people are innocent people are sitting in jail, rotting away, blamed for so many things that they have not done. Not on, if you ask me. And I am not quitting until this world is in a perfect balance, total harmony, total equal rights for everyone, peace, harmony, total ceasefire everywhere. And people say that is so naive. How can you say that? I don't care.
Let's shake hands.
I won't quit. And then maybe I'll die and I won't have... But at least my intention is there.
Yeah. And you did a good job then. So, yeah, if it's over, it's over. But you need to go on.
You always have a choice. You can step to the side at any time, but I don't.
Your heart is heart-driven, passion.
It's my dharma.
Duty, dharma. Do you teach yoga yourself? I thought so. You're a coach too?
Not body yoga. I'm stiff like a log, I'm sorry to say. But Raja Yoga is the science of the mind. It's a 5,000-year-old philosophy on how to control this and how to stay in touch with the divine, whatever you want to call it.
But you're not a teacher because...
I have a diploma, whatever that means. But what I do know is that with all of these hundreds of interviews that I've done, I would say that what I'm talking about is yoga.
Yeah, for sure.
Yoga means union.
Yeah.
That is the meaning of the word.
That's what you do.
This is what I do. If I was only here to spread information about all of these horrific events, it would be better if I shut up and went home and went to bed. If I was only spreading dark, because many people are doing that. I think the information is needed, but then it's lifting the whole thing in the end. So people feel, like, okay, now I get it. So now I will take my part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel...
Because you are a good coach also. I think it's not a coincidence. I'm a journalist now, and I'm also a therapist, but spiritual coach, medium. So it's a combination, which is good, I think. So you have to spread the message, but you also have to coach people to stay strong and find their own inner peace.
And this is what I find is so wonderful, like with Zen, Gardner, Wilhelm Felderhof. I mean, they are like close, beautiful brothers to me. And also the whole, here the Open Mind Conference, if you see every speaker have been talking about love, compassion. This is not 10 years ago or 5 years ago, nobody mentioned that at all.
No.
As far as I remember. But I have gone full speed, love. But exposing serial killers, mass murderers, it's like, it's bizarre. But then again,
drill here, drill there.
Drill here, drill there, drill everywhere. Do. Yeah, so.
Yeah, is there an upcoming event like a false flag, terror, or something? You guess?
The bizarre thing is that they put out leads, like little, like a film trailer for the upcoming event.
Yeah.
And because all of these are connected, the last year or two, very, very connected, and they put clues out for you. And the reason they do that, as far as I've been informed by insiders, is that the way they understand the law of karma is that if you expose what you're going to do to the victim, and the victim does not react, the karma is on the victim's shoulders, not the attacker. Oh, wow. So they put it out there. If we do not react, then it's up to us. So they do that. So I'm super aware of clues, when you look at one crime scene. And when the latest Brussels thing happened, I mean, all of them are connected. And I predicted the Copenhagen shooting 1 month before it happened, on the hour, location, everything, because of these things.
Yeah.
And the latest one in Brussels, I was looking for clues, and there was, in one of the photos, there was a lying down Eiffel Tower in the background. It was the decoration of a French cafeteria at the airport, but that type of thing with the blown up bits and pieces around, and that photo in the background, boom, that is such a typical clue for the next one. Yeah. So I went straight out on international radio, many different radio stations, just the Eiffel Tower next, the Eiffel Tower next, because it's by being exposed in these things before they happen, that's the way to go, that's how we can stop it. And the thing is that the thing that is in these operations is that one of the major parts is a drill. There's always a drill. And they need to advertise about this drill. Sometimes only locally, but that there's a drill. The drill is there so that they can get vehicles in position, explosives, patsies, extras, crisis actors, directors, cameras, everything in position without us interfering. So they need to say, oh, we have the security drill for your protection. Sometimes yes, sometimes absolute not. So the drill is one thing to be very aware of. And where I try to encourage people that if they see and hear about a drill, go there the day before, the day when it happens, and film the people setting it up. Yeah. Because nowadays it's going to look like a film set. Yeah. And also because it is by exposing them, make it very obvious to these people that they're being filmed. And there nowadays even you got apps like Bamboozle that will, if you're being approached by someone who's like, what the hell are you doing? You can just use Bamboozle and say, before you do anything, this is live on YouTube, because it's a live stream on YouTube. You activate. So when they come, before you do anything, please know that you're being filmed on YouTube. It's live. Yeah. That calms them down. And when they know that they're exposed like that, you diffuse it. And according to Chip Tatum, one of the things is that they have a very strict timeline with these operations, and they're all connected. So if you mess it up that can mess it up massively. So I know, as far as I know, I humbly believe that I've been part of stopping 2 false flag massacres that were planned. And by doing that, it was like I spoke to Chip, and he said, by stopping that might have delayed operations in Croatia or in Ukraine or for months. Yeah. So I said, let's keep messing it up.
Should that be the same in Rotterdam, you guess? I wrote you about Rotterdam, but
I don't know.
Nothing happened, so...
No, but also, I'm using my Facebook page now where I've got like, I don't know how many thousand followers, to get people to send me in information about these drills. As from green, I got like from all over the place. I get, no, there's a drill here, there's a drill here. And what I do is I post it right away with details. There's a drill there, that's step one. Be aware of, should something go off here, then we are one step ahead, you know. Mm-hmm. And there, just after the Brussels airport thing, there was one thing that I was sent an email by an employee at the Opera House in Gothenburg in Sweden, saying that there was this internal email just for the employees saying we have an upcoming drill, security drill. There will be 200 crisis actors involved, media will be involved, fire brigade, bomb squads and police. You know, please don't share this and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, great, I'm going to share it right away. You know?
Wow.
Because that smelled a long time. With an opera thing, you have makeup, you got all the drama things you need, smoke bombs, all of that already on site, you know. So I had people go there, they filmed the day before, they filmed on the morning when the drill should happen. Instead of a few hundred extras, there were like 5-10 people. So, okay, I thought, I was wrong. Boom, 2 hours later, at the airport in Gothenburg, the same vehicles were there where there was a so-called bomb scare there. And the bomb squads went in and everything, and they were filmed, very dramatic photos. Not. There was a paper wastebasket that was turned over, a few chairs, that was all. But they evacuated the airport saying, oh my God, bomb scare. So I said, drill that was possibly moved there, step one, to the bomb scare to get the reaction from us. That was step two. So I said, if this is true, wait for the problem, reaction, solution, the thing that they always use, problem, reaction, for us to. So I on Facebook I say, if this is a real one, wait, the solution will be served. And it took like few hours, then suddenly there were these big things in Sweden. Now the Swedish security police need an extra super budget because of all these terror events. And there were several other things that built on this absolute fake event, the whole thing. But that, the 1, 2, 3, and us doing it live when the operation was ongoing, it has now done that quite a few police and military people are following my website or the Facebook page, because they saw it's not just empty talk, this is whoa. Yeah. And they're involved in it without understanding why. Yeah. So let's stop this madness.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people are awake now.
And I had from insiders in military intelligence in Sweden that said that operation, not always do they need to make that big shebang, you know, with blood and bombs and smoke. You have the same effect with just a bomb scare. Mm-hmm. And I found in media in India where there were footage from a plane being blown up, where they said the airport in Gothenburg, and look at there was a bomb explosion. Where the hell? There was no plane exploding. There was somebody that turned over a few chairs. That was it. But these images were spread. Yeah. And this is how they do it very often. They do it somewhere far away, so the people in India, they think, oh my God, there's been this terror act in Sweden as well. The whole world is crazy. How many people in India have people in Gothenburg that they can call and say, was that for real? No. So you have the impact without the real event.
Yeah. Do you know something about, do you have a theory about the missing planes all the time?
I tell you, I believe that a lot of these missing planes are either staged events or arranged crashes. Especially Boeing planes have a special little thing built in, and you can. It's the size of a USB memory. You can attach it like that without the pilot even knowing it, and that gives access to remote control. So the pilot loses total control. He has nothing to do with it, and he's not aware of this little thing that was added there. Was, and this is not me making things up. You can find it as well. It's called I can't remember the technical term of the whole thing, but that makes the plane totally in the hands of whoever is controlling it remotely.
And are they using that?
And it is said for the security of the plane should it be hijacked. But what do you mean security of who? It's the plane is hijacked by remote control, you know. So I think sometimes if you look at these planes, they go like this, and then suddenly they go into enemy territory and crashes right there when you can stir up a conflict and blame individuals. This is typical when it comes to false flag operations as well.
Disappearing from the radar. How is it possible?
That is also, sometimes they do that, but what they do is they turn off the transponder signal and then exchange the plane for a drone. This is also, the planes come like this, turn off the transponder, and the drone goes in. You had that thing with all the planes at the 9/11, suddenly the transponder signal disappeared and it was on again. They do these things, that is standard operation.
But real victims?
It
you
is,
don't know.
We are at a stage in time where it's so hard to know.
Yeah.
Real victims, staged event with where you see, it is very strange and hard to know.
But did you research a missing plane? I guess. Where are the victims? Are there victims? Is there family? Is it real? When people cry and say, oh...
Do you know, like for instance, at the when they blew up the government building in Norway, in Oslo, 2011, followed by the mass shooting on the island, where it said that they killed, however many it was, 69 teenagers. That is the official story now, on the island. I believe that on one side of the building, where the explosion was, which was not a real explosion, it was an implosion instead, it seems like. There were real victims. On the other side of the building, we're talking crisis actors. And I did a lecture on the Open Mind Conference with it, you can find it on YouTube, about when terror struck Norway, where it's like, with these operations, it's so important for them to get the emotional reaction.
Yeah.
They secretly create the problem to get the emotional reaction from us, so we don't use the brain and look logically at what's going on, so that they can come with a solution. And so to get that impact, they need women and children, pictures of blown up women and children, blood, smoke, these type of things. Doesn't work with old guys. You will never see old guys walking around with bandages. And no. Women and children, to get the emotion. Sometimes nurses, mercenaries, priests, and so on. So on the back side, or it's actually the front of the government building, there you have all of these people with bandages, blood, sticks sticking out of the head and stuff like that, who, once you start seeing it, I mean, I've been there several times, I know every square centimeter of the whole area, and you need to study it like that to be able to diffuse it, to see, hang on, there's especially two, my absolute favorites, I love them. There's this woman, she has a spike coming out of her head. It's like almost 30 centimeters like that. So I don't know about you, I would be somewhat concerned if I had a thing like that sticking out of my head.
Yeah, really.
The other woman, her name is Sissel, her face is covered in blood. It's like she dipped her head in a bucket of paint.
Yeah.
No blood in her hair at all.
Ketchup.
Anyway, so the explosion is there. You have 5 ambulances parked like that. So with a stick of 30 centimeters out of the head, what do? And this is where I managed to, through the images and photos and so on, they walk up like this, they cross the street, they sit there and wait, taking photos. It's there all the time. You're laughing, it's there, you can find it on you. Then they walk back, they turn around, then they turn back and they walk along all the long line of ambulances that are standing there. Then they sit them down, saying, please, so she's sitting there with this, it's like this, not kidding, it's this thing sticking out of her head. They're sitting there, It's very dramatic when you look at the still photos. It's like, but I managed to find a video take of the whole thing where you can see the whole thing. And so in the middle of all of this, with the ambulances there, they stop a bus, a normal bus, and say, we will take you to hospital. I don't know about you. Thing like this out of my head, I would prefer an ambulance, and could you please get me to a doctor quick? No, they take them and they get her up, and she walks off with this thing out of her head.
Wait
and
for line 6.
goes into the bus, and then is driven off to the hospital, followed by an ambulance. When you look at it's like when I did that lecture, people were sitting crying. You know, they were laughing so hard they were crying. But it's only when you see the whole picture.
But are they doing this on purpose to work with the karma, as you said?
You tell me, I don't.
But it's in your face and you don't see.
No, it is not in your face. It is in your face since people like myself are spending thousands of hours finding everything, every little detail, like this, putting the picture together.
Yeah, but it's intuition.
Yeah, but intuition it's not worth nothing. Your intuition, I think it's a false flag. There's no impact to that.
You know, your intuition.
It's still, in my world,
know.
is not worth anything. You can, I think it is. It's hardcore facts. Bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam, bam.
That's
And
journalism.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I always try to put it like this in concrete, not my own opinion, but build the whole case and like this, and then you have the official story and the real truth like this, and then it's up to people themselves to say, oh my God, the official story is an absolute joke. And that's where the spell is broken.
Yeah.
Because when people see that, if they could do it in Oslo, then maybe this is not true either. And then they start looking, and then that is not, and that is not, and that is not. There's so many of them now. Mm-hmm. And to end this interview, I would very much like to suggest that what we are looking at is a small little unit of crisis actors, of directors, of specialists in smoke bombs and explosives, military advisors, propaganda experts, advertising agencies for logos and slogans, these type of things, that are being transported in army planes from NATO base to NATO base, depending on where they're carrying out the next operation. Meaning, what I'm suggesting is that the same people running around in SWAT team uniforms in Ottawa are the same people running around in SWAT team uniforms with black masks in Paris, in Copenhagen, in Peshawar, in Sydney. We're looking at a small, like a rock group on global tour, a tour of terror, carrying out the exact same theme again and again and again, and we are so surprised every time. It is the same. Every time there's a new thing that goes down, it's getting to a point where it's very hard for me to get involved, because it's like, oh God, not again. And then people turn towards me saying, what do you think happened? Please show us what. And it's like deep breath and then into it again. But it is the same.
I know.
But it's fantastic at the same time, because it's like if you know how to bake a pie, I mean, you can change the smell and the shape of the pie, but it's still a pie. And a false flag, it's very limited, the options, and they're running out of options.
Okay, Ole, what can we do?
We can do, it is a hard one. We can learn from the facts that what we're looking at is fake terrorism. We are being told that we are under attack, that the world is filled with crazy Muslim terrorists. I would say absolute fake. 30 years of my life, I don't even know if there is such a thing as a real terrorist. not the way we have seen them, you know, with a suicide belt, with a black outfit. Not to forget the passport they always need to bring so that they can drop it on the side so that it can be pointed out as terrorists. That is essential when you're a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
The real terrorists are very nice looking, expensive suits and dresses, nice cars. They will stand in front of you on TV and say, "Oh my God, this is so horrible that this has happened. We stand here of support for the families of the victims." These are the people behind the operations. They're the ones that are going to say, we have to in this time of crisis, we have to stand united against this phase of terrorism. We will take actions, but we need to unite, and we need to join forces against this horrible terror event here. These are the people that are behind it. This is the face of evil. Mm-hmm. Very nice manicured fingers, nice smile. These people are the front people for this death machine. Yeah. So don't be manipulated just because they say what you want to hear. I get approached by many people asking this exact question. So what can I do? Because this is the, okay, now I get it, something really weird is going on, but what can I do as a normal human being? Just, I'm a single person. And this is where my sweetheart, Kim Kamala Ekman, she is not interested in these areas. She has been standing by my side for all of these years, terrified many times. They're trying to get me to stop with these things out of fear for different aspects, my family, my everything. And also the way she sees it is so dark and negative, these things, so she needs to not be too close. But she felt after a while that, what can I do? So what can I do? She's a concerned mother of 3. And then she came up with the idea, I'm going to interview handpicked people and ask questions from a point of view of someone who is just about to wake up, who are in the process of waking up. So she put together 14 questions, and she interviewed people like David Icke, Sen Gardner, Kevin Barrett, Dr. Kevin Barrett, who's one of the leading people in the 9/11 movement. Veterans Today. He's a fantastic man, and Muslim. He's a converted Muslim now. Ken O'Keefe, myself, Cynthia McKinney, who is a former top politician in the US in the parliament, black woman, fantastic, courageous one, incredible. Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot, and Sophia Smallstorm, who is also amazing. And she put the same 14 questions to these people and put it together in a book called So What Can I Do? And I think you are going to get to meet her soon, so
great.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to.
If I could finish with a prayer?
Yeah. Great.
I have my yoga teacher, Nelly Chelaram, has this fantastic prayer that I think is beautiful. I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual being, and it goes like this. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May everyone, and especially the ones who hurt us, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to that light. We all need to heal. They need to heal as well, otherwise this will just continue. And now I will be quiet.